So the big question with e-commerce, right, is should you build a brand or should you just stick to selling on Amazon? It's something that even industry experts can't agree on. And so today we're going to discuss why that is, the reasons for why you should be in one camp or the other, and then try and bring a bit of a summary at the end so you know exactly how you should be focusing your energy, your time, and your finances over the coming years. Well, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing really well. Today, if it is your first time here and you want to follow someone who's building brands and kind of showing you the successes, the failures, the challenges, the real story along the way, then be sure to hit that subscribe button because that's exactly what I'm aiming to give you on this channel. And be sure to turn the notifications on too, because next week I'm doing a video that's an Amazon FBA Q&A. So if you want your question answered, then make sure you drop it in the comments below of this video and I'll answer as many as I can in next week's video. That's next week, Amazon FBA Q&A. Drop your comment in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to get to it. And today we're talking about the future of e-commerce for you, really, because there's this debate that has raged on for some time, is whether as brand builders or physical product, private label business owners, is whether we should actually look to even bother building a brand or we should just focus on things like selling on Amazon. And actually I wanted to take two of the industry leaders really that really differ on this point of view, and it's two people that I really greatly admire and respect, and they're Kevin King and Ezra Firestone. Kevin King is like the lead trainer for Helium 10, the software that I and many other thousands, tens of thousands of other Amazon sellers rely on to build their businesses successfully. And Kevin is like the lead trainer for Helium 10. He knows his stuff. And then you got Ezra Firestone, who has really become known for being someone who really endorses Shopify and building your own website, and only recently is more leading. And only more recently is leaning into the Amazon side of things. We don't know what brands Kevin owns or has built because he doesn't reveal that, but we know a lot about what Ezra does because he talks about it all the time. He owns a brand called Boom by Cindy Joseph. It's a brand that now is approaching 100 million, probably done over $100 million in sales by now over the last 5 or 6 years. And it's one of the standout physical product brands in the industry. And I really value his opinion very highly. So two people whose opinion that I personally value highly, respect a lot, but both have a very different point of view on this. So now Kevin has gone on record to say that building brands is actually a waste of time for Amazon sellers. That if you're going to sell on Amazon, that's all you should do initially, at least. You should focus on that with all of your energy. And I get that, and we'll talk about why in a moment. But Ezra, on the other hand, he says that you should go all out in building a brand. You should build out a brand that's bigger than just products being sold on Amazon for many reasons. So what I thought I'd do, take a few moments just to break down the reasons why you would focus on one or the other. Try and bring a balanced approach, even though, as you'll probably discover, I lean more towards one way. So first, let's talk about the benefits of selling on Amazon. Well, number one, the biggest one of all of them is the traffic. Amazon gets billions of hits every single month all across the world on their different marketplaces. There is an incredible amount of traffic. Amazon is a shopping platform. People are coming to Amazon with a shopping intent. You don't have to pull them off Facebook. You don't have to pull them off other platforms. They're coming to that platform with their credit card on file, ready to click one button and buy something from you. So there's an incredible amount of traffic. Number two is industry-leading conversion rates. Now on Amazon, typically you would see 10, 15, 20% conversion rates on your product listing. That's unheard of across other e-commerce sites. That's because Amazon has a lot of trust. People know, like, and trust Amazon. There's the Prime shipping feature. There's so many things that Amazon do to make that possible. Again, credit card and file, loads of stuff that Amazon have been doing over the years to build that trust and ensure that there is an incredibly high conversion rate. Number three, there's also the ease of startup when selling on Amazon. There's no website to build. There's no payment process that you have to get involved with. There's no storage warehouse you have to buy. There's no staff you have to hire. And on we could go. Amazon actually makes starting a business way easier than it ever has been ever before. So there's no doubt starting on Amazon, selling products is one of the best business models out there for all of those reasons. But let me kind of counterbalance that for a moment and talk about, well, why would we build a brand? Why do I personally believe that Kevin's wrong to say what he says in this instance, and that we should actually focus some time and energy on brands? Now, disclaimer, of course, Kevin, if you're watching, probably not, but I really respect you, and I respect Kevin's opinion and decisions, and I think he's right about a lot. I just personally believe for my business and my future, I want to go a little bit of a different way. And here's why. Number one, when you build a brand, you gain more control and diversification. Now, Amazon's market size continues to go up and up and up. But industry commentator Marker, they actually said recently in a recent article that Amazon's market share has actually gone down during the pandemic. Shopify's user numbers and other e-commerce website platform user numbers have gone through the roof, causing Amazon's market share not to be quite as high as it was. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this, but one of the key reasons for this, I believe, is because Amazon's continued laissez-faire attitude towards sellers. The increasingly frequent instances of Amazon advertising their own products on our listing, Amazon banning sellers for no real reason, Amazon all of a sudden limiting what stock you can send into the warehouses, all of a sudden limiting how you can sell different things. Amazon, of course, it's their website, they built it, their traffic, they own it, they can do what they want, but as brand owners, as product sellers, actually gives us less control. And so by building out a brand, by building out different traffic channels, we actually gain more diversification. Now, I understand what Kevin would say and what some people would say and would be like, well, the energy and the finance that it's going to cost you to do that isn't really worth it. And I would beg to differ. And that is because of reason number two, and that is brand asset. Brand assets are things like customer data, social audiences, email list, things like that. And listen, here's the thing, right? If you took advice from people that said, don't bother wasting energy on starting a brand, running your own website, building an email list, if you didn't do any of that, let's conservatively say in your first year of selling on Amazon, you sold 10,000 units, right? That's not an exorbitant amount. That's not a low amount. That's kind of that's a good amount, nothing too crazy. Perfectly achievable, if you follow the kind of tips that we're giving you on this channel, right? And so if you were to do that, let's just say from those 10,000 sales of units on Amazon, you actually were able to collect 1,000 people's details. And again, if you do the strategy right, and I've got some more content coming up for you in the next few weeks to show you exactly how to do this, but if you were to able to get 1,000 of those people, just 10% of those people to leave their details with you, that's a list of 1,000 people that you can then launch products to over and over again. And let me tell you, an email list of 1,000 people who are interested in your brand, who have spent money with you before, is an incredibly powerful thing and gives you the ability to launch products in a way that would not be possible without that list. Now listen, I know I've kind of pitched it as like Amazon versus brand or Amazon versus Shopify, and the ultimate truth is that it's not really one against the other, because a smart seller would sell in as many places as possible. I suppose I'm just trying to give you the reasons why it might be a good idea to focus on things other than just Amazon. Reason number three, as we build a case for building a brand, is competition. Now on Amazon, when you go on a product listing, there are upwards of 20, 30, 40 other products being advertised on your listing. That gives the consumer copious amounts of opportunity to shop around, which means you are very limited on the kind of pricing you can charge. Now my personal belief is that you should develop a good product, and therefore you should be able to go towards the top of the pricing range of the market. But it's difficult to do that sometimes on Amazon when there are so many cheaper options on your listing. In fact, even when you go out of stock, Amazon will advertise at the top of your listing saying cheaper items to consider, like a real knife being dug in there. Thanks so much, Amazon. Whereas on your own website, when you're building a brand, when you're building your own social audiences, people aren't comparing your product as much. Of course, there will still be some comparison. You can't just charge what you want, but people are comparing your product to other products less because there's less immediacy of that competition. Fourth reason for building a brand is the asset generation. Real wealth is actually not necessarily built by cash flow, it's built by asset generation. People really get wealthy and build financial security in their lives, not just by having a cash flow business, because as you've probably experienced in your life, cash flow can come and go, but by actually using that cash flow, by using the generation of cash flow to then invest in assets. And stats will tell you that you'll actually make 60 to 80% of all of the money you'll ever make with a physical product brand when you sell it. And when you actually realize that asset and take home that money, and then you can begin to then either reinvest that in a new brand or invest that in other things or put it in the bank and, travel the world forever, whatever it is you want to do. But that's the time when you're going to really make the most of your money. And by building a brand, you actually increase the multiple that you'll be able to sell your brand for. Again, it's very generalized figures, but industry averages will tell you that an Amazon business, someone that's just selling on Amazon, you'll be able to sell that business for 2 to 3 times annual profits. The last 12 months of rolling profits, 2 to 3 times. The bigger you grow that business, the more that multiple will grow. But Ezra Firestone actually revealed last year that Boom by Cindy Joseph, his brand that's in multiple places, not just on Amazon, but on his own Shopify store, all over the internet, got a huge audience now. That brand was actually valued at 10 to 12 times profits. 10 to 12 times obviously is way more than 2 to 3 times, and it's not just a monetary figure, it's a multiple, right? So every extra dollar or pound that you put on the bottom line gets multiplied by way more when you have different things like an email list, when you have your own website, your own traffic sources, when you have all of these different things that actually build out a more solid brand. Think about it from like an investor's point of view, right? You've got 2 options. You can either buy someone's business that they're literally just selling on Amazon. They are at the whim, the mercy of Amazon, and at any moment in time, Amazon can change the rules and things could change. And now don't get me wrong, right? I believe in the Amazon community. People overreact and people are scaremongers about what could happen with Amazon. I think there's always a way to resolve things with Amazon, but whether that resolution comes now or in 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, who knows? It's a challenge, right? We play this game like with Amazon. They give us so much, but sometimes it can be a challenge, and it is a bit of a balance. And I suppose that's why I'm talking about this, is to try and balance it out. But the investor, he sees the Amazon business, the purely Amazon business, then he or she sees the brand and sees that there is an email list that they could, if Amazon was shut down tomorrow, they could instantly email that list and, move a lot of their sales over to their website. They've got that website. They've got all of the pixel data, all of the history of people visiting their website. They've got social media targeting lists. They've got so many different brand assets that actually helps them to have a more broad, more secure business. The investor, 99 times out of 100, is going to pick the established brand, and they're going to pay more for it because of those reasons. And reason number 5 for building a brand, I suppose this one's a little bit more subjective, but I want to do a little exercise with you right now. Reason number 5 is I just personally believe that building a brand is just a bit more holistic. What do I mean by that? Let's do this exercise. I want you to play along because I want you to just see the point I'm making here. Right? What I want you to do is I want you to think about 3 to 5 brands that inspire you. That if you had the opportunity, that you would love to model a brand after them. You would like to own a brand like they are, that they inspire you, you buy from them, you engage with them, you think they're great, right? Think about 3 to 5. I want you to get them in your head now. Like, pause the video if you have to. Like, actually do this because it will help you. Have you got them? Okay. Now, of those 3 to 5 brands, how many of them are only selling on Amazon? How many of those things that inspire you and fill you with motivation are the kind of thing that you would want to build with the time and energy that you have available to you? How many of them are just selling on Amazon? I'd hazard a guess that it's none. 0. Zilcho. None of them are only selling on Amazon because they've gone out and built a brand. And now I get it, right? Kevin would say, well, yeah, do that once you've spent a year building your revenue up on Amazon. I get that, right? And I think for some people, for sure, that's the right play because, you can only focus on so many things at a time. If you only have an hour a week, 2, 3, 4 hours a week, then maybe that's the right play for you. If you feel really limited in the knowledge of building this business, then maybe that's the right play for you. But for me personally, I don't know. I've got this firm belief that the businesses that last are the businesses that serve customers, that solve real problems. I just believe that the world doesn't really need, more entrepreneurs spending their day researching the latest Amazon hack that's going to drive more keyword ranking. What the world actually needs is more entrepreneurs that are going to create good problems that provide real solutions and serve real customers. I don't spend my days dreaming about Amazon ranking or how I can move up the listings a couple more times. Of course, I employ good strategy, and growing in your exposure on Amazon and sliding up the rankings, of course, is a massive part of how you build this business, and we give time and energy to it. But I spend my days thinking. That's my daughter screaming. But I spend my days thinking, strategizing about how I can create great products, reach more people with those great products, and then continue to serve those people with great follow-up products that continue to meet needs. So listen, in summary, I don't think there's a right or a wrong, and I think in certain circumstances you might want to go one route as opposed to the other. I just think if you're going to play the long game with this, which I really think you really should be considering adopting the skill set, adopting the mindset of building a brand, building the assets, building the lists, building the traffic, building the control, building the diversification. I respect everything that Kevin does and says, and I just disagree with him slightly on this one. So listen, hopefully you found this helpful, and it's maybe been some food for thought for you. I'm not expecting you to agree with everything I said, and I don't get everything right. I may be wrong with some of this. This is just my personal belief system. So let me know if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. Would love to chat some more about this, or join us in the Facebook group and chat some more about it there. If you do want to learn the 4-step process that we're using to actually build brands and want to follow along the journey, then check out the link in the description below for the Brand Builder Bootcamp. Teach you everything in under an hour of the process, of the structure you need to follow in order to do exactly the same. And if you've liked the video, as ever, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you've hated it, but you've got this far, so who knows. And if you want more content like this, make sure you do subscribe. Don't forget, we've got the Q&A next week, so if you do have a question, something you want cleared up, anything you don't understand, make sure you ask it down in the comments below, and I will get to as many of them as I can. I look forward to seeing you in that video, which will be coming up next week. All right, take care, have a great week, and I will see you soon.